Hey y'all, hey. So, first I want to say, my brother was like, why don't you talk to them like you talk to me? And I was like, I can't talk to them how I talk to you. And then I was like, but I'm talking how I talk. And he was like, no, sis, that's not how you talk. But then I thought about it. And I said, the conversation is not deep enough. That's why I'm not talking to them like I talk to you, because I'm a whole different Sean when I talk to my brother, because him and I have been talking about some deep stuff. And so for the purpose of this video, I'm going to try not to curse, because when I get into deep conversations, the words be freely flying, okay? And I do want to get some points across, because like from the title, I mean, you get it, right? So I have had very little sleep, right? And the very little sleep started with my neighbors. So there's no level of, or no word I could say to express the extent of the disrespect that I'm experiencing with my neighbors. So I've been living here for about 8 months now, and it's like ever since I moved in, the disrespect. So the disrespect, what is it? Domestic violence, right? At first, I didn't really know what was going on, because I couldn't really tell. I'm one of those people, I like to mind my business, baby. Baby, look, don't tell me about your business unless we close enough to talk about your business. Like, I don't want to know your business, because I got a lot of my own business, that I need to know and to take care of, right? So when I first moved here, I was really thinking, I was like, God, like they be rearranging this furniture every day. Like, you haven't figured out how you want to live in this place? And I am not lying, guys. I would hear, you can hear furniture dragging from this way all the way across, right? And then as time went on, I started to realize that it may not be furniture. It may just be a body, baby. And what made me come to that conclusion is that, during the day, people are moving around. You can hear the people outside, and it started happening. They don't need an occasion, baby. When you in a real domestic violence relationship, there's no occasion needed for what time you decide that, y'all just gonna pop off, right? So it started happening where it was it was shifting. So I don't know if the schedule's changed in the house, but it shifted from being during the day to getting closer to midnight, and then to in the wee hours of the night, right? So at that point, the world is quiet, and I can hear the whole conversation. And I'm just like, wow. So this whole time I'm thinking that y'all can't figure out the aesthetics of your home. You guys are up here fighting. An even sadder part about that, guys, is that they got children, and you can hear the children screaming for them to stop fighting, right? So the other night, now, mind you, I just worked, I believe it was 22 days straight. And Sunday was going to be my first day off. And I was like, ooh. So I'm going to wake up late, excited, to go to sleep this night. And excited, because I even went to sleep late, because I was like, I can go to sleep late. I don't have to wake up early tomorrow. I don't have no plans on my agenda but to sleep. to clean my house, to do my laundry. That was it. Here come 4 o'clock in the a.m. rolling around. And all I hear is screaming, banging, throwing stuff. And I'm like, y'all got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. So then, the walls is paper thin, by the way. So you can literally hear the actual conversations. When I sit on my couch, when they're sitting on their couch and they're talking, I can hear their whole conversation. Not because I want to, guys. I want to mind my business. But y'all didn't give me choices, and I like choices. I don't have choices in this situation, right? So, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. The screaming, the banging, the throwing of stuff, the kids screaming and crying. And then I hear her say, "You did this ish again. I can't believe you did this ish again." And I'm saying to myself, ma'am, of course he did it again. I've been living here for 8 months. I don't know how long y'all been living here, but I've been living here for 8 months and he ain't changed yet, baby. Today is not the day he's going to decide to respect you. Not today. And of course he's going to keep doing it. You know why? Because you keep allowing him to do it. You have not walked away from this man yet. So he's going to keep doing it because you keep taking him back. Right? And so, now, I know for sure, guys, this man was 100% asleep. Just like the rest of us. Because I tell you what, this neighbor on this side, poor thing, just moved in. And when I tell you just moved in, I mean maybe like a week and a half ago just moved in, right? And I can hear him say, "Oh no, not again." And I was like, welcome neighbor, because this is a regular thing around here. So mind you, before anybody say, don't be coming at me, okay? I have already talked to the office, right? No, I haven't called the police, baby, because I just feel like there's levels to domestic violence, and I'm gonna get into that a little bit later because, like I said, these walls are paper thin. I can hear whole conversations, right? So, bro was asleep. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. He sleep just like the whole rest of us would sleep, right? And so, to get slapped out of your sleep, to get stuff thrown at you, you jump up. Yes, he don't know what's going on. First of all, he don't know what's going on, right? He's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." Well, not all the way true, bro. You know exactly what she's talking about because you're not communicating with sis, right? And that's why she had to go through your phone. And that's why she is disturbing the peace of 8 different apartments that touch the walls of your walls and waking everybody up at 4 o'clock in the morning, because that's the time that she can get to your phone to see that you've been doing exactly what you've been doing, right? So, like I said, I've reported them before. I didn't want to call the police on them because what they got going on, baby, could easily be scratched, right? She can go her way, he can go his way. They can decide that they want to do some couples counseling. There's things to rectify the situation, right? But you continue to stay in this situation. Do not say to me, but maybe she can't get out. Baby, she started the fight, y'all. There's ways around that. No, ma'am. So when I realized that every time this happens, I hear her screaming first. She is starting the fight. And I know 100% she's throwing the blow first. And what I feel like is that, I mean, you watch enough TV. if you hear how it progresses, that when he do finally fight back, is because he fighting for his own life at this point, okay? She be throwing stuff, furniture be hitting the ground. I don't even know if they even got any functioning furniture left at this point, okay? This is how it is, right? But I'm 100% sure she started this fight, right? So which this is going to bring me, I got my notes right here so I can make sure I hit the topics for y'all. Gets me to my next discussion here. So the reason why I'm going to say I'm not letting them off, I'm not letting her off, I'm not letting him off on any of these subjects, because I have been in a domestic violence relationship before. Now, granted, there was not a whole lot of putting hands on, right? It happened, but it was not the biggest part. Mine was mostly like a mental thing, right? Sorry, my hair is driving me nuts. It's so poofy. I need to get my hair done. And I know people probably said to me, because my situation was bad in the sense that I was threatened a lot. Like my life was threatened a lot. And he didn't put hands on me that often. I mean, it was a rarity, right? But it was still like a dangerous situation, because I never knew what was going to cause him to snap or put his hands on me, because I'm not one of those people to fight. I don't want to have to go through your phone. I don't want to have to keep telling you how I feel. I'm going to give you 3 times. I'm gonna have a conversation with you about 3 times about how I feel. Then after that, baby, okay. We can't come to a happy medium. I'm ready to be out. I will take my parts, I will go, right? I'm not going to argue with you. He was the talker, he was the arguer, and I was one of these. And he would sit there and he would yell at me, he would want to argue. He was arguing with himself, baby, because I was literally sitting there. And I would let him go for an hour, 2 hours, however long he needed to go. And then when he stopped, I would just say, okay. And then I would go about my life. I didn't bring the subjects up, because at this point, baby, I'm so far detached from you in this situation, I don't care. But I also believe that's what caused the laying on hands, because in a sense, I to him felt cold, like I was cold-hearted. No, because I'm not the one out there doing wrong. I'm not going to keep coming at you about what you're doing. You know what you're doing. I'm just no longer interested anymore. But it was a different situation for me, and it took a little while, to get him out of my place or whatever. But it ended up working out, and but the thing is that I put myself in preparation, right? There's steps to it. I wasn't concerned financially. I had that part set. But then there's things that you can do. Start moving your stuff out of the house slowly, women or men, if like you are the receiver of domestic violence. Start saving up money. Get a separate account where people don't. There's things that you can do, right? And I was slowly getting his stuff out of my place. He didn't know it, but there was a plan to that. So slowly making him take his stuff out of my place, and eventually it all worked out in the end. And for anybody out there, I'm not judging you, right? I'm not saying that domestic violence isn't real. I grew up in a household with domestic violence. Probably the majority, actually, all of my younghood that I lived with my mother. All of the years that I lived with my mother, except when she was with my dad. But after they broke up, all we received, domestic violence. Now I'm gonna tell you a little bit on that subject there too. I'm gonna go through a couple things here. So as I got older, I started to realize what my mom was doing, and I said to myself, "Hey, you the reason why they putting their hands on you." She was the reason. And I would say probably 90% of the time of watching her, I can say, probably more than 90%. I ain't even gonna lie, I'm not gonna try to sugarcoat it, okay? You the reason why. And just like I'm saying, this neighbor, she the reason why. Like, you can't be provoking people, right? It's like poking the bear. Because what I realize is that the man ain't really trying to get down with you like that. But you keep on poking him, right? And the situation can be flipped, okay? It could be the woman who's being provoked by the man, then she got to put her hands on him, okay? But either way it goes, right? Because you're angry, because you went into somebody's phone, man or female, you went into somebody's phone, now you mad, or you seen something, or somebody told you something, or this happened, or that happened, or you asked a question that you was not prepared to receive the answer on. Because, baby, what I will tell you for sure, I'm not going to ask a question that I am not prepared to receive the answer. If I cannot receive the answer that I don't want to hear, and it's going to make me react in a certain way, I'm not asking a question. I would rather come back to you at another time when I got myself collected, right? But no, no, that's not what she did. That's not what my mom was doing. When she was in the moment of her emotions and how she felt, she was in it, and then she started it, right? Just like the neighbor who's in her feelings all the time. Baby, it ain't no secret what he doing. And for all of the 8 apartments that touch your apartment, we all know it ain't no secret, okay? So if you don't want a man to hit you back, you don't want a woman to hit you back, don't go over there throwing your hands at him. Because the one thing that makes me so upset, and I'm saying this specifically about women, that makes me so upset, it's like, he hit me. But then when you get into the story, you realize that you hit him first. Why do you assume that he can't put his hands back on you? Because at that point, it's self-defense. Don't put your hands on nobody. And I felt like that back in my younger years, like maybe teenage years. I used to be all gun-ho on, I don't care what the situation is. No man should ever put their hands on a woman. That was me. But as I got older, as I started realizing more what my mom was doing, right? And as I just, started realizing what other women were doing. Y'all poking the bear. Don't poke the bear. Like, don't be hitting on them. Baby, look. If I feel like I need to go through your phone, baby, we don't need to be together. That's the way I feel. I have felt like that for many years. Now, have I always stuck to that? No, I have gone through guys' phones. Did I jump the gun and get crazy and stuff like that? No. I'll talk to you later, or sometimes I don't talk to you at all. It just is what it is, right? Because a person is going to do what a person wants to do, regardless of who you are, regardless of how many children y'all got together, regardless of any situation there is. Marriage don't mean nothing when a person wants to do what they want to do. Being in a relationship don't mean nothing when a person wants to do what they want to do. And that's why I'm not checking. Because if I talk to you about something and I've given you ample time to help me, help us come to a conclusion, or how we can come together on this issue, because I'm not going to ask you to change for me, but could we figure out how we can come together, right? And if I've given you ample time, meaning I've talked to you 3 times about it, and I'm not one of those people that I talk to you today, then I'm going to talk to you in 2 days, and then I'm going to talk to you next week. No, baby. I'm one of those people that will give you 3 months in between. I've given you time. I will give you months in between. I will give you a month in between. I'm not going to come back tomorrow. I want you to take some time to marinate on that, right? I be getting sidetracked. And for the purpose of this video, guys, it's going to be all the way totally raw because I can't edit anything because CapCut is down right now. I didn't know that CapCut belonged to TikTok. If there's any other editors that you guys are aware of that's pretty decent, please, somebody drop me a comment. Let me know because I don't know. I had a couple of other editors on my phone, and then I happened to really like CapCut, and I've been using CapCut for a while, and now I don't really know who to go to. I haven't even looked for another editor, because as you guys know, the ban had just happened, and it was lifted for TikTok the same day, but not for CapCut. So I don't know if it's going to be a while for CapCut, and I honestly don't know if I want to continue to use CapCut, because if after the 90 days they decide that they are going to go ahead and fully ban them in 90 days, then for sure, I'm not going to have CapCut. So I need a backup. All right, so back to the subject. I was saying, like, people are going to do what they want to do, right? That is the reality of life. However, when a person does what they want to do, when you have talked to a person, we've tried to reason, we've tried to come together, and things aren't working out, baby, look, when I talk to whoever my guy is, and I get the response back that I get from him, what I will tell you for sure is that I'm not going off. I ain't going to do that. Because first of all, I don't want to fight with nobody. I don't want to have no attitude with nobody. Like, I like having good energy, right? And I don't want you messing up my energy because I don't come to you with bad energy. So, like I said, I ain't going to fight. But what you did do was give me a choice, right? And that's basically what I'm getting at. She didn't have to go off because I feel like it kind of went something like this, and I be thinking that, like, every time they have a fight, it's like she done slapped him and she all up in his face and stuff. But she didn't have to do that because in my eight months of experience in you guys, I done came up with plenty of choices that could be had in these 8 long months of having to listen to them. So I don't like the idea of calling the police. One, I don't like the idea of calling police because I can call the police and waste their time and they come out here because they're not going to split, right? I can call the police and then they're going to still fight again 2 or 3 days from now. I have made a complaint with the office. What I will say is that I felt like they respected us a little bit more this last fight. They were only allowed for like 30 minutes this time, guys. And I was like, appreciate it. Although I could still hear everything, but as far as the throwing of furniture and things and bodies and all of that, it only lasted about 30 minutes this time. Because normally it can go a solid 2 hours. Solid. I don't even know where you come to have that type of stamina, but they have built it up over time, I would suppose, right? But let me see where I'm at. What am I thinking? I'm just saying, guys, things could be handled differently. Now, I do feel bad, I feel bad for both of them, right? Because it's a real situation, right? It's a real situation on her part that you got to keep going through whatever it is that you're going through with this man, right? But the problem is you. The problem is you because he's giving you a choice, baby. He has showed you for my 8 months, baby, that he's not going to change, right? He gave you a choice. Your choice was that I can go ahead and walk away from this man. Because the thing is, guys, when a person is ready to change, the person will change. Oh, and going back to what I was saying about the police. When she's tired or when he's tired, they will leave. And that's the thing. Like, if anybody ever has asked me about advice about anything, I always say to them, these are my words. When you're tired enough, a I'm gonna tell you that every time. Ask me for some advice. And you've been going through the same thing for forever. When you're tired enough, that's when the change happens. When you're tired enough. Oh, you still going through it? It's 3 months later, baby, you ain't tired yet. When you tired enough. And the same thing goes for my neighbors. When y'all are tired enough, you will move on. Because there's always solutions. But unfortunately, you know, some people got to let it go all the way to the end. To the brick being thrown upside both of their heads, okay? They will let it go all the way to that point, right? And I say I feel for both of them because, like, I think about this lady, like, baby, and this is the one thing I say to women a lot. Get your confidence up. Get your confidence up. And I say that because when your confidence is here, and men too, know that I'm not canceling you out on this situation, because you may be in that situation where you're putting up. I know men right now today that's putting up with women because that's just what they feel like they got to do. Or you feel like a person would change. Or whatever the situation is. Baby, look, baby. First of all, I'm going to say, when you're tired enough, you'll make a move. But I feel like I forgot what I was about to say, where I was going with that. It'll come back to me, guys. We'll continue on talking. Yes, I was feeling like she's got to get her confidence up, right? Because when your confidence is up, your shoulders is tall, you're sitting good, you walk with your head high, you know, you smile a lot. Baby, when I tell you that, you're not putting up with that. Baby, men and women in their most confidence, baby, will walk away with no problem. Absolutely. I done got to the point where, you know, I can just be like, I can see something, I can have a conversation with the guy, and I'll just be like, okay, well, that ain't gonna work for me, so, you know, till next time, you know, bye-bye, and bye-bye now, okay? And when your confidence is there, it is easy for you to be like, yeah, bye-bye now, okay? And I just feel like either she's had some traumas in her life and past relationships. I would say probably 100%, because who hasn't, right? But you haven't allowed yourself to work through that. People. I say this all the time. And the reason why I say this all the time is because for many, many years now, I have been helping people with relationship matters. I have been helping people with life matters. Now, I didn't go and get certified. I don't have no degree, but I took a slew of psychology classes and sociology classes. I have been an observer of people all of my life. And I don't know, man. Like I'm saying, you know, people have traumas, and when you don't take the time to address those things, and you know when you're addressing those things, when you can say, yeah, reflecting back on this situation here, I do realize that I was the problem. Because when you think about it, anything that is a problem in your life, and it's like you're in a revolving door with this, or say, we're going to talk relationships specifically. So you're in a relationship. You go and you get into the next relationship. That relationship looks just like this relationship. You're the problem. Because when a person change, when you change, when I change, when anybody change, who you hang around ain't the same. Who you like ain't the same. What you do is not the same, your routine changes up. You know, everything changed when you start making changes. And I would imagine, right, that this lady had a string of relationships that probably didn't work out for her. Or this could be like the second or third relationship. I don't know. You know, I've been trying to mind my own business. Unfortunately, they have not allowed me to do so. But in between those relationships, she hasn't taken out the time, right, to address the things in her. So for me, when I'm in a relationship and we break up, I take time. I give myself at least a year. I haven't had a whole bunch of relationships, by the way, either. I think I've had 4 or 5. So I take my time. Like when I was married and I got divorced, I stayed single for 10 years before I met my children's father. I was single for 10 years. And you have to give yourself time in between relationships, in between situations, for not even just relationships. It could be a mother-daughter, a son-father, a daughter-father, a son-mother, a brother-sister, cousins, aunties, grandparents, friendships, workships. And you need to take time in between that to address the things that cause a bit of trauma in you, right? And that's what I say. People don't take the time to address the things within them, right? The traumas within them before they move on. So for me, I've always given myself that space in between relationships because for me, it's important that I address the traumas inside of me so that when I move on, I don't bring that with me, right? Sometimes you can't even escape that because I would say that even when I felt like I've done the most I could, right? That's when spirit comes into play, right? So you get into another relationship, you changed a lot. This person looks different, but this person is sparking unhandled trauma that you've had in your life, right? So I would say, maybe we can't 100% get rid of all the traumas before we move on. We don't necessarily know what it is that we're going to get into the next relationship. But by golly, should we at least try? Should we at least want to be better? Should we at least want something different, right? And that's why I can't fully be like, oh, I feel for you. You guys are over there fighting all the time and I feel bad. No, I don't. Because we're adults. Everybody has the option to walk away. I bet you guys aren't together 24 hours of a day. There are moments when you can walk away. You can take one bag and go. The situation is so many situations. I don't feel bad for him because whatever it is that he's doing, he knows he's doing it. He knows he's provoking her, right? I don't feel bad that she's waking you up, that she's going through your phone. I don't feel bad that she's slapping you. I don't feel bad about any of those things concerning him because all 8 apartments know that she's talked to you about it, right? There's no denying that she has told you how she feels. She even mentioned that the other night. That I feel like when I come to you and I talk to you about how I feel, you don't care. She said those exact words. She said, I'm looking at you right now. And the way that you're sitting there, the way that you're ignoring me, I feel like you don't care. And me, I'm sitting there because I'm popcorning and listening at this point. And I'm like, because he don't care, baby. He don't give an F at all. And as I said earlier, why do you think today is going to be the day that he's going to care? He don't care. Baby, I just spent 8 months with y'all. I'm going to tell you, he don't care. And that's why I don't feel bad for him, because he keeps doing the same thing to her. Apparently, because she said you did it again. That's usually how the thing starts off. Gosh darn it, you did this ish again. That's how it starts. But at what point do you get tired of again? That's up to your own tolerance. I can't tell you when. But getting back to my point of them being absolutely disrespectful, because the one thing I will tell you for sure, when I told you that I had a domestic situation going on, there's not one neighbor of mine can tell you that we woke them up, that we were throwing things, that we were stomping around the house, that they could hear fighting. Not at all. There's not one neighbor that's going to be able to tell you that. Because for one thing, I'm going to do is respect my neighbors. Just like when you have problems and you got to go to work and you leave your problems at home because you got to go to work. It's the same issue. I share walls with people. They don't need to know what's going on in my house. If I wanted you in my business, then I will make friends with you. So that's what I'm getting at. Like, it's unfortunate that we have to be a part of your business. We don't want, I'm pretty sure, as new neighbors said, oh no, not again. He don't want to be part of your business either. And that's why I say it's disrespectful, because what I will say, I done banged on the wall, baby. I have banged on the wall so hard before that I thought I was about to go through the wall. Because at this point, I think we were about 2 hours in. And I just couldn't even take it no more. Because when it happens, y'all, when I tell you the amount of noise that you hear, I had company over a couple of times when it happened. And we dang near screaming at each other because now we can't even hear each other. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, I had got to the max of who I am. I'm banging on the wall. She decides she wants to bang back on the wall. I said, okay, that's where we're going. So I went on ahead and turned into a sailor and cussed her out in so many ways that I couldn't cuss her out in anymore. And then in the end, let her know that I'm tired of hearing her ish. And y'all do this all the time. And y'all are disrespectful. And you should respect your neighbors. Right? So it's not because I have banged on the ball numerous times. It's not a one-time deal. And so I believe it wasn't until I got the office, I sent an email directly to the manager of this complex that what was going on, and I don't think it was until she got involved that they decided, like, this last time, to be respectful, to try to be quiet and fight. But all in all, when people are fighting in general, there's a lack of communication somewhere, right? I think that's the problem with any type of relationship. It doesn't even have to be a romantic relationship. You know, it can be an issue between your boss and yourself. There's always a disruption somewhere in communication. And for them, you know, I can even say that y'all can still stay together. Baby, look, I ain't here to judge you. That ain't none of my business. I want your business to be none of my business. Let's say that, right? But counseling can be had. Healthier conversations can be had. First of all, learn how each other wants to be talked to. Learn how each other wants to handle conflict. Learn the appropriate times to have a conversation with a person. Learn your own self. Learn yourself on how you're triggered in a conversation. Because there's been many conversations that I've had where I've been triggered, and I've had to say, hey, so honey, in this moment, I'm going to have to end the conversation here because I feel that I would not be able to have a healthy discussion with you any further at this point. And then we can pick this up later, right? And that's typically what would happen, right? Is that we can pick it up later. Not in the situation with the one that was the domestic issue. It was never no turning that off, baby. I just had to wade the water, okay? But with people who understand, right? I had a whole relationship where we never fought. we didn't have real fights, but we had disagreements, and it'd be like him sitting right next to me, and we just having a regular discussion like regular people, where there's no elevation in our voices. And then, you know, one day we just decided, look, it ain't gonna work. He said it ain't gonna work. We still friends today. Okay? So, yeah. I just think that, you know, they can stay together. That ain't none of my business. But figure out how to talk to each other. Figure out how to handle conflicts in your relationship, right? Otherwise, you just become the most disrespectful neighbors. And I know I've had experience. This is actually my third set of domestic violence. Last place I lived in, I moved. I could not take it no more, baby. And I will say, I believe that this last lady, well, I already know she was my this way neighbor. So we would bump into each other all the time. She was Latin. She was Dominican. Oh my gosh, why can't I talk? Dominican. There's also a lot of Dominican people here too. I know that this lady is Hispanic. I can tell her accent. I also speak Spanish. So like at the other place, they would fight in Spanish and English. And it was just no way for me to escape the conversation. It was unfortunate because as I'm getting upset and I'm talking back, I was switching between English and Spanish when I wanted to explain to them how I felt. I mean, I kept it in my apartment. But I was mad, baby. Because they always chose to fight on my bedroom wall at the last place, right? And it was so disrespectful. And it wasn't just me at this other place. I ended up finding out that that couple was getting almost every day that there were several of our neighbors complaining about them. And I think that when I went to complain, that they were surprised it took so long for me to come in there because I waited a while. But like I said, like I've been living here for 8 months, and it took me 8 months to make a report. Like, because I was like, y'all have taken me beyond who I am. When I had to cuss back at this lady, I had to keep on hitting the wall. We're going back and forth with each other. Y'all have took me to the max of who I am, baby, because I don't fight. Like, that's not my thing, baby. I don't want to argue with nobody. I don't like to raise my voice because when I laugh too much, I'm raspy in the throat, okay? I don't want to go there. I don't want to do that. I don't want no parts of that. But anyways, like I said, guys, there's a time and a place. It's always a time and a place for anything. There's always a time and a place where you don't have to bring anybody else into your stuff, right? And that's all I'm trying to say. I don't want to be part of their toxic relationship because at this point it's toxic. Anytime y'all sit there and y'all fight like that, and you going to do this and you going to do that, and people aren't respecting each other, but then y'all stay together, it's parasitic. It's toxic. Like, y'all keep that between y'all, right? Don't share that with nobody else. I promise y'all, nobody else wants to be a part of that. I promise. Now, I know. Look, don't come at me. Maybe I should call the police and that ain't none of my business. Because like I said, it's been 8 months. When they tired enough, they'll change. But that's all I got to say about it. I haven't had much sleep because they kind of messed that up for me. That's why I'm looking like crazy like this. My hair ain't done. I've just been happy to just, make it, to work and stuff and getting through the day. I mean, I'm barely making it through work. I'm falling asleep about 1 o'clock. I'm tired. And for some reason, I haven't been sleeping well lately, and I don't know what that's about. But probably because I was working so much. And I feel like I'm going to change that soon. I want to change it soon. I will change it soon, actually. I'm not even working this weekend coming up because I'm tired. I decided I'm not working this weekend. Don't even worry about it, baby. Don't worry about it, sweetheart. I'm going to be at home resting. All right, y'all. Well, that's enough of my give-a-gab. Thank you for coming to Shawn's TED Talk. My observation of what I really want to say, I can't say. My disrespect for neighbors. I'm going to leave it at that. I don't know, brother. Because my brother say that I've been real commercial with y'all. Now, I will say that I'm a little looser today. Tonight, it's late, y'all. It's real late. However, what I will say is that I don't think that I'm still talking to y'all like I talk to my brother. But that's my brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my womb buddy. Like, you know me? And we talk like that. I don't think, look, I don't think we can talk like that yet. Give me a little bit more time, okay? We still warming up to each other. And I don't know if I'll get banned for saying cuss words, so I don't know how that works. Because I watched this one lady. Baby, I like her. She on her glow up too, but baby, she be throwing the cuss words out there, and I love it. Love it. Okay? So, I don't know. I'm gonna try to keep it clean for y'all because I can get passionate. That's what I call it. I can get passionate when I talk. I've gotten so passionate, like my brother was like, wait, whoa, sis, you mad at me? Like, nah, I ain't mad at you. I'm expressing myself. Which also, okay, so I almost forgot a whole thing, y'all. I almost forgot a whole thing that I was going to say to y'all. I went on a little bit of tinge there. Okay, so what I was going to say to y'all, look, I'm growing, baby. What I'm trying to say to y'all is that your sister is growing. Because I fell asleep after 1 a.m. She woke me up at 4:20 exactly. Because I checked my phone. And I didn't immediately be like, I didn't even get hyped. I was just like, that's right. I don't even work tomorrow. Or, I mean, I guess it was morning, so I could have been like, I don't even have to work today. I think that's what I said. And I was like, so my real thought at that point was, I wonder if I can sleep while the sun is up. These are literally the thoughts that was going through my mind, right? Which brings me to the epiphany that I had. Because I feel like we're all out here trying to reach goals in our life, right? I think that we're all out here, manifesting these great things for ourselves. And the epiphany that came to me, and it wasn't just like in that moment. That moment just only showed me that I had growth, right? I have been realizing over the past couple of weeks that there's certain goals that I've been wanting to reach. And I was saying, like, talking to spirit, like, every time I get to this point, something happens. This happens, that happens, this happens. And the spirit led me to a video. I can't tell you which video it was or who it was, but I don't even remember if it was a lady or a man, but I'm going to say a lady for this purpose, because I do mainly listen to ladies, unless it's about stocks. So I'm usually listening to guys when it comes to stocks. But like life stuff, I'm usually listening to women. I do listen to men too, but the ones that's in my algorithm, I guess, are mostly women. And she was like, it's the distractions. And I don't even think that when she said distractions, it was even pertaining to like reaching a goal. It was just like in that moment, it was like it clicked where spirit was like, that's what you needed to hear. And I was like, whoa. And it's like, it's so quick how, you know how like you're so close to reaching a goal and something might happen, something small even. Say like someone cuts you off in traffic, or a bill. This is a good one. A bill pops up that you were unaware of. So then now you got to spend out more money than you were prepared to spend out, right? Let's say that's the case. And then your vibration of here falls way down here, right? And then if you're one of those people, this used to be me, so I'm saying this. Over the years, I have learned to quickly get out of that. But if you're one of those people that sits in it, how you went from here, let me bring my arm down so y'all can see. So imagine I'm way up here, and I'm saying from here, what your goal is right there, and you done brought yourself way right here, right? And you're sitting there and you soaking and you soaking and you're soaking. And it's like, man, I can't reach this goal because I'm soaking so much way down here. Because you've allowed yourself to sit in the distraction, right? Something happened one day where it was like left, right, up, down, left, right, up, down. It was like it wouldn't stop. It was like things were trying to boom, boom, boom me, boom, boom, boom me. And I was like, and every time it happened, I was like, oh, that's a distraction. And I sat in it. Not like upset, but like amazed. Like, wow. That's what happens. And it was like, well, I can't let that happen. I can't allow that to bring me from here to even bring me here. Like, I need to stay here. So it's like, I sat in it and I observed it, but I couldn't give it a reaction, right? Because if I give it a reaction, then it knocks me down a little bit, or a lot of it, right? And so that same day, it was just like left and right, boom, 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 boom. But it was like every time I let the distraction go, I noticed you and I continued on, right? It was like something good happened right after something good happened. And then right after that something good happened, then another distraction tried to hit me. And I noticed you, but then I moved on. And it was like, boom, something else great happened. And I mean, it could have been something minute, like when I went to the mall. Baby, look, I don't want to go to the mall on a Saturday. Let me just tell you, because that's when everybody's at the mall, right? And so my kids wanted a new phone. So I said, okay, I'll go buy you a phone. I got off of work early. I will go buy you a phone. And I get to the mall, and I was like, I really don't like going to this mall because I can never find a parking spot. So the fact that I was like, this is what I was thinking, you know, but I didn't let it deter me. It wasn't one of those knock me down things. It was just like an observation, like, yeah, that's why I don't like to go there, because it's hard to get a parking spot. But I'm going to go anyway because, like, it's a good day to go because I got off of work early. I can go ahead and grab this phone. Tomorrow I don't have to come out the house. You know, like tomorrow was Sunday, the day that I was supposed to sleep in late, you know. And what was I saying? Oh, so I get there, right? And it was so hard to like maneuver through the traffic to even get down, you know, the lanes to park. And I always say that's perfect timing. That is always perfect timing by Spirit, because Spirit knows what you want. Just the fact that I said in my mind, right, I was like, yeah, I don't really like to go there. You know, it's hard to park. Spirit was like, girl, don't even worry about it, girl. I got you. Because you said you was going to go anyway. I got you, right? I get there, baby. It's cars going up and down, up and down, up and down. And so I was just like, all right, I'll just keep cruising until I find something. Because it's so hard to find a parking spot. Like, you can end up a half mile away from the entrance, right? So I just turned the corner, and the guy and his son is walking to the car. I was like, by golly. And it wasn't even a far parking spot. I was like, thank you. So that happened. But then it was like, something else happened. I can't remember what to tell you happened after that. But then something happened to try to knock me down. And I was like, nah, I ain't gonna do that. Oh, but it wasn't my situation though, which is interesting. So I got out the car, right? And, okay, no, now Spirit just brought it to me. That's not it. Okay, it ended up being a car accident right as I was walking up. The Amazon truck had hit a car. But that wasn't it. Because I was like, that ain't my situation. But when I got into the store, I already knew what phone I wanted, right? I had looked it up online. And the guy was like, we don't have that one in stock. Now, mind you, when I got in that store, it was a little bit busy, but it wasn't so busy that there was like a line or anything. Like, I would have been the next person up, right? Well, these people literally had me standing there for 30 minutes before somebody was able to come help me, because whatever those other people were doing, it was taking forever. It was even a guy in there that reminded me of one of my exes that I felt like that was a test for me too, a distraction for me too, because I felt at times being triggered by listening to his conversation, and he's on the phone with his mom asking for money for her to buy him a new phone. And I was like feeling triggered, like, and I was like, nah, destruction, I ain't gonna let you get me. You can't beat me. You can't beat me. Ain't that what the professor said? So I just sat there and I was like, no, Spirit, we're not gonna let this happen. All the while, remind you that I have been sitting there for 30 minutes. So when he came to talk to me, he still was not ready for me yet. So he just told me to go take a seat, which I could have did when I first got there. And I was like, all right, cool. He was like, I promise, I'm going to get you in just a few minutes. So then 15 minutes go by. I tell him which phone I wanted because I already did the research. And he said, we don't have that phone. He went back to the back, right, to look for the phone. He came out, I don't have the phone. But then one of the other workers ended up coming with him. And so he was like, well, come over here real quick. And he's like, I have this other phone. And this other phone was like, it was way cheaper. It was way cheaper than the phone that I was going to get them. And I was like, what? I was like, let me pick this phone up. So I picked the phone up and I'm touching it and making sure it do what it do. And I was like, it costs how much? And he told me how much it costs. And I was like, okay, so what's the gimmick? Like, he was like, this not one. We just have a promotion right now. I was like, okay, what you going to charge me later for it? He was like, we're not going to charge you nothing later for it. And I was like, all right, one more time. Just explain it to me one more time. So he ended up explaining it to me one more time, y'all. Not only did I buy one phone, I bought two. I bought two phones and paid the price of one phone with both phones. And that was like, okay, you reached a goal, right? You didn't allow the 45 minutes that you ended up waiting. You didn't allow the guy in the background to trigger you. You didn't allow the fact that they didn't have the phone to drop you here. Because the whole time, baby, I'm laughing and joking and, smiling and still. I mean, I'm tired, so I start walking around the store, but then I'm like, Spirit, do I gotta sit here this whole time? Like, what do I do? And I just sat there and I was just, trying to be patient about it. And so I ended up being able to get 2 phones for the price of 1. And I was like, oh, that's so nice. That's so great. That it worked out that way for me. So yeah. And so even with the situation with the domestic violence, just to bring that all back into the circle, that the fact that I didn't allow myself to get angry, I didn't allow the feelings, even though I wanted to write them a letter, to say, look, guys, like all 8 of us know what's going on. Like I wanted to just write them a letter, just to ask them if y'all didn't mind, maybe y'all could fight in your car or something. I mean, I don't know, maybe you can pick a better time other than the wee hours of the morning or late at night, or baby, I didn't been woke up before my clock went off at 5 in the morning. It goes off at 5 every morning. I've been woken up, not just at this 4 o'clock, but when I've snoozed it, and I'm like, okay, today I get to sleep to 6 because I'm tired. It was them who said, no, we're going to go ahead and let you get on up at 5:30 because 6 ain't in the cards today, But I seen that moment as an epiphany because I didn't allow myself to go from here to here. I was just like, okay, well, this is where I figure out a way to find some sleep, like what I can't do is change them from fighting, right? All I can do is ask, hey, do y'all mind? Do you mind? Or I could make another report with the office, Or I could call the police, right? But that's about all I'm going to really be able to do. I mean, I can't change people. That's up to them. They're not tired enough. I already told y'all that. And I don't know how long they've been going through. It's been years that they've been doing this with each other. I don't know, But they're not tired enough yet. And I just know that I found growth. And if that helps you guys, far as the epiphany goes, that if you're trying to reach a goal, because it's a lesson in everything, right? If there's a goal you're looking to reach in life, you're trying to manifest this or that, try to recognize the distractions. Try to recognize the things that trigger you. Try to recognize the things that you spend your time on. I'm going to give you an example, and I have to tell Spirit, like, okay, so I order a ton on Amazon, right? And I have Prime. And my packages have not been showing up when they're supposed to be showing up. And I don't know if that's like a around the country thing, just my, area thing. I don't know what it belongs to, right? But I know that some of my kids' Christmas presents didn't arrive on time. It ended up coming, what was it? It got rescheduled several times, ended up coming 2 or 3 weeks later, right? And then I got 3 things right now. One was supposed to have been here a couple of days ago. It's supposed to come tomorrow. And then the other 2 things were pushed a day back. The thing that upsets me about stuff like that is, why do you put it on Prime for the 2-day and it's coming in 3 or 4 days? If you know it's not even going to show up, don't put it on Prime. And I felt myself like going from here to here about that. And then when I realized it, I was like, no. Girl, just go to the store. And so I said that. I said, okay, Spirit, I get it now. I did allow that to bring me from here to here because I spent too much time thinking about it. And I particularly remembered this because I wanted to say that to you guys, right? And so I order so much from Amazon, y'all, that if something comes up to my mind, I go straight to putting it in my cart immediately, right? And currently, I believe currently I have 80 things in my cart. And currently have no desire to purchase them from Amazon. Because I feel like at this point, I'm being duped, baby. And so I'll just have to find like ways to find these things at the stores, because I even went to the store the other day. Like, I know I could have ordered it off of Amazon, and I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go to the store. And I was okay with that. You know, I actually don't mind going to the stores, because what I will do is just try to find a time to go to the stores where it's more convenient for me, where it's like a non-busy time to go to the store. I like people. I don't have a problem with people. I'm very extroverted. However, it's just that I don't like to go like when it's super busy, because, you know, everything takes longer. That's all. Or it's hard to find a parking spot. You know, the simple things like that. But I don't mind going, you know, with people. But anyways, we've talked enough. Y'all, this video is over an hour. And as I have mentioned before, I have no CapCut. There is no deleting. There is no fixing this or that. It's just gonna be how it is in the raw, baby. You're getting the raw cut, baby. If you like videos like this where you want to discuss like some heavier topics, I would love to discuss heavier topics with you guys, because it's kind of my jam. You know, I've been doing it for years. It's my jam. I went through a long time on my other mic. So I have another channel, and I have another page or pages on Instagram, and one on my Adventure Girl Shawn page. If you ever want to go there, you'll see all of my adventures. Because if you see the bike in the background, I mountain bike. But I do other sports too, and I travel a lot too. I think I had like 14 trips last year. So you will see all of that on Adventure Girl Shawn. But anyways, over on there, I will always talk about communication, relationships, being understanding of one person's side or this person's side. And then there will be times where I go a long stretch and I don't mention anything, right? And then my DM starts to blow up asking, where's the word for the day? You know, they want to know if I'm okay, and if there's something I can tell them for the day. Things like that. So I've actually died down quite a bit, because I've just been focusing on me right now. However, if you guys are interested in those topics, we can discuss them, because my DM on IG be banging when I give food for thought and we have discussions. So yeah, drop a comment, like, subscribe, share, and you know, until next time. All right, y'all. Bye.